England versus Scotland, 1983. England v Scotland matches in the 70s were completely dominated by the Tartan Army, who would turn up in their thousands at Wembley. Yet England's mob would never turn up, either at Wembley or Hampden Park. In 1977, thousands of Scots invaded the pitch at Wembley and ran amok, tearing up the pitch and pulling down the goalposts and crossbar. We have previously covered this in another video. After that debacle, the Football Association decided to make England v Scotland games all ticket, and you were not allowed to travel to Wembley as a Scot unless you have a ticket. Of course, they still did, and simply bought their tickets once in London. We have all wondered why the English firms allowed this to happen, and there have been several discussions about it online. It may be that because different firms didn't really communicate those days, so they couldn't coordinate any sort of response to the Scottish invasion every other year. But at least by the early 80s, something was beginning to happen. We take this example from this story by Chelsea and England fan Rod, who told us, the England vs Scotland game at Wembley 1983 was the moment the day the Fightback really began. It was the first time the home international had been switched to a Wednesday night. I was 17 and myself and a lad a year younger decided to get tickets. My thoughts were it would be a good crack, and I couldn't understand why no English fans had ever turned up beforehand, at least not up for it. So we travelled on the tube from Putney to Wembley Park. In all honesty, I was thinking, shit, what did I do this for? As I didn't see another England supporter all the way, just hordes of drunk Scots everywhere. I was draped in my Chelsea England flag. To be honest, I don't recall feeling threatened, but then again, two of us could hardly threaten thousands and thousands of Scots, could we? We walked up Wembley Way, which was just tartan everywhere, and decided to go straight in. We were in the lower tunnel end. There were not many people in the ground and gradually started filling. We noticed a bit of unrest in the upper sections and saw a little mob forming. England fans were actually assembling together, so we went up and joined them. The mob grew and grew up to a few hundred, and the ground was filling up. Then the song started, "Come and join us, come and join us, come and join us over here." Then England fans started coming from all over. Still no real trouble, as the Scots didn't really notice us at this stage. Eventually we had a very tasty mob filling two sections of the upper tunnel end, with some good lads from the London firms. Nothing organised, just all came together. The old Wembley had no real segregation, and each section had just low whitewashed walls. Soon things started to kick off, and we stood our ground and defended the two sections we were in, as Scots poured over the walls but got sent packing back over it. Time and time again the Scots would hurl themselves over the wall, only to get a good kicking and fly back from where they came. It reminded me of the scene in Zulu, where the Zulus keep coming over the barricades and keep getting shot. It never really stopped the whole match, and Lord knows where the police were, and no stewards in them days. But we held our ground, and yes, the Scots took Wembley yet again, but plenty went home with a good beating that day, and the Fightback had started. I never got to travel to Glasgow, but many local lads from Putney did, and fair play to those that took it north in 85 and 87, and especially 89, when things really took off. In fact, 89 was so bad in terms of violence that authorities cancelled the Roos tournament full stop, and England didn't play Scotland until Euro 96, a full 7 years later. In terms of England v Scotland at Wembley, 86 and 88 was much more even. If you watch the YouTube videos from this period, it's still full of Scots, but with many more English firms present, and it did always kick off. Stories for another video, perhaps? We thank Rod for his recollection of the day's events. It's clear that this was definitely the start of the English firms standing up to the Scots, and the preceding matches enforces this view. Never again will the Scots have it all their own way at Wembley, indeed, even at Hampden, where English marauders invade in 85, 87 and 89. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe as it really helps our channel grow.